Hey, happy Thanksgiving. As usual, I had a big dinner and 2 pieces of pie. So I'm just trying to get a little movement going. Work off some of that pie that I ate. Hope everyone's having a good Thanksgiving. You know, I was thinking, who are you? Who am I? Who are any of us? Sorry, I'm stoned. But what I was going to say is I was thinking, who are you? Me? This song is the definition of who I am. I'm God's girl. And I got to turn light on like white. I just saw that. Wait a minute. See? And I'm not perfect. But you know what? It's okay. Because the only person I compare myself to is who I was yesterday. Faith is all about faith. Trusting in what we can't see. Sitting just exactly me. You water. Okay, as I was saying, anyone that spends 5 minutes with me knows I'm God's girl, not a perfect girl, but I am his girl trying to do it his way. I'll give you a little example. I try to be loving and kind to all and to be a good example. So I'm on my way, wait a minute, the human race from Maine to LA, spreading love along the way. She's God's girl, her sister Grace. This is what happens when you smoke cigarettes. Do not smoke cigarettes. I quit for 30 days again. I had 4 years. And then I had some stress and picked them up. Sorry. Okay. I smoked a bowl before I come on, so I'm a little. But I was gonna say, yes, like this song says, I am God's girl. I know who I am today. But like I said, that doesn't make me perfect. So I'll tell you this story by what I mean by this. Just one of the many things. But I'm on the way to church a couple weeks ago with my grandson. And in my little humble car in the back window, there's a license plate that I've had for, oh my Lord, since I was around my early 30s. And it says God's girl. And it's a painting of God and of Christ. And so I'm on my way to church and somebody cuts me off. Let me tell you, I did not like God's girl, not one that he could be proud of. And I never did this before. But I flipped the guy, the bird, on the way to church with God's girl in the window. And I called him a body part that starts with an A. So in case any kids watching, I'll keep it clean as I can. But why I share that is just to say, so many of us, we measure ourselves by by society's standards. And we really got to start measuring ourselves by God's standards. Who are you living to please? Let me share a little something with you. And it's a spiritual thing, of course. Because I'm always looking for the trash, the treasure in the trash, the blessing in the lesson, because there's always a blessing in the lesson. See, I can't even talk tonight. When you're about to be propelled spiritually into your destiny, don't expect things or the road to go smoothly, because the road will be the roughest when God is ready to propel you. If you're walking with God, it's like if you're a business, if you're McDonald's and you've got Burger King there or Wendy's or In-N-Out, if you're on the West Coast, In-N-Out, best burger you ever get in your life. But and you got a mom and pop business there, well, they're not going to worry about the mom and pop business. They'll probably even be nice to them and let them use some of their parking. But the competition, now they're going to be jealous of them, so they're going to attack them. And see, that's what happens in life. Satan will attack, and he will use people, places, and things to keep you from the destiny that God preordained before we came upon this earth. And I don't want to get off track here, but I was thinking about when people talk about abortion, and I had some statistics here, but I don't know where things are currently. In the Bible, it says, I formed you in your mother's womb. I knew you before you were born. Therefore, it's not a fetus. It's a baby. And here I am getting political, and I don't like getting political. I mean, you see my flag in back of me. I just made this. I don't know if we can keep this video, but I just made this flag just to because I love my country. I love my flag. I can't see my flag without having this sense of gratitude that I live in this country. I'm so grateful to be an American. I'm so grateful that I have the choice to choose the path of spirituality that I choose. I'm so grateful that at this point in history in America, I have the choice to say, I am a Christian. But I want to urge all of you other Christians out there, because I am seriously afraid that there's going to come a time in our country where saying, I am a Christian isn't going to be something that's going to be allowed. You're going to have to make a choice. So be prepared. You might think I'm silly saying such things, but this is coming to me. This isn't something I even expected to say. You've seen my videos. I don't get political. So this must be divine. But there is going to be coming a time. Do your research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Get in the Bible. Get in the Bible. Your children against parents. Get in the Word, because nothing else is going to save you when that time comes, and it's coming, outside of that intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you, I'm not trying to scare you here, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you're listening, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want a shallow relationship, because when times get tough, you got to have a stronghold. You got to, be strong in him, or you'll crumble. You got to know who he is to trust him. If I go somewhere, I'm not going to leave my purse somewhere with somebody I just met, or somebody that I get together with once a year, but I don't know them that well. But if I know them well, and I know their character, and I know what they're about, I'll leave my purse. Well, it's the same with God. We got to get to know him if we want to trust him. We don't get faith. We don't get salvation by osmosis. Nor does trust comes that way. You don't ask him into your heart and then you have trust. Doesn't work that way. You got to spend time with him. If you want to be strong, when these tough times are coming, then usually I got one down here. They're all over here. Then you got to get into the Word. You got to listen to it. You need to meditate up on it. You need to, and don't just spend, I'm not telling you what to do. So I'm sorry to say that. I would suggest, if you've never read much of it, read the Gospels. Don't get all scared and get in revelations like what's going to happen, because what's going to happen, you don't have any power over it, darling. So don't worry about that. Worry about, am I representing Jesus Christ? Am I a good reflection of my Father? Am I being kind? Am I being loving? Am I being forgiving? Am I being generous? And only you can answer that. But I urge you, each and every one watching, and I don't care who it is, to seek the Christ in every single person you meet. And never, people forget this. I do a lot of work with the homeless and have a heart for the homeless. You know who my favorite homeless person was? Jesus Christ. Never had a steady job, steady income. Didn't even have his own place. He never invited anybody to dinner. He'd say, I'm coming over your house tonight to eat, and I'm bringing all my buddies with me, and you're paying. And he had people pay, like when he met the woman at the well. And she was one of his followers. People would work and they took care of Jesus. So remember that next time you look down on somebody because they're out on the street. Remember, rather than looking down on them, why not give them a hand up? Why not look for the Christ in them and be grateful you're not them? And I'll say this one thing on forgiveness, because I know I'm all over the place, so I'm going to erase this. But I'm getting drunk. Now I've had a lot of experience on this, and this reason being, every single thing that happens in our lives, God will use, and perhaps even I know he allowed it because nothing can touch you that God does not allow. Therefore, every single thing, every mean person, every person that cheated on you, every person that robbed you, or whatever it is they did to you, whatever it was that you went through, God will use it for your good. And he will use it to connect you to people, to others like you. You know, it's like Paul. Paul was a broken person when he was in jail, and it helped him connect. It made, no, Paul, what am I talking about? I'm sorry. See, I smoked too much. I was thinking of David in 1 Samuel. When David, I think it's 1 Samuel 22. I have a terrible memory, but I know it's 1 Samuel. When he was in the cave and he spent like 8 years in the cave. And David was so broken because he loved Saul, and Saul came after him. David could kill him, but David chose not to. And who were the men? Who were the people that David was surrounded by? The broken people, the overlooked, the people Jesus loved. So I just want you to think of that, okay? Next time you see somebody on the street, or maybe they don't smell so good, or maybe you think, oh, they're just a junkie or a drunk or whatever it is you think. Let me tell you right now, darling, they're God's child just as much as you or I. And they're just as special and just as unique because God gave each and every one of us our own set of fingerprints so that we would always know we were one of a kind. We're like, I always tell people, if you were a Picasso, would you take a paintbrush and, oh, I can do better than that? But yet we think we can do better. However we look, whatever we are, that's God's handiwork. So with that, I'm shutting up, saying good night. God bless all. Thank you for joining me, and I love you. Shucks. That was so stupid.